All right, let's talk about something every single person who lifts weights eventually runs into, the dreaded plateau. Today, we're going to dig into the real science of why your body hits this biological ceiling, and more importantly, we're going to talk about the keys to just smashing right through it.
Does this sound familiar? I mean, you're in there, you're being consistent, you're pushing harder than you ever have before, but the scale isn't moving. Your measurements are stuck. It literally feels like you've run full speed into a brick wall.
And that's the most frustrating part, isn't it? Because you're doing everything you're supposed to. Your training is intense, your nutrition is on point, and you're getting nothing. The progress has just flat out stopped. So what's really going on?
Well, here's the thing. The problem isn't your work ethic. It's your biology. See, that plateau, it isn't a sign that you're failing. It's actually your body's ancient survival instinct kicking in, and trust me, it is incredibly good at its job.
This really lays out the fundamental conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got your goal, endless muscle growth or hypertrophy. But on the other side is your body's #1 top-tier priority, and that is simply to conserve energy. That process is called metabolic homeostasis. You are literally in a tug of war with your own programming. So what is this metabolic homeostasis thing exactly? The best way to think about it is like a smart thermostat inside your body. It is working around the clock to keep everything stable and predictable. And if building new muscle becomes too expensive in terms of energy, that thermostat is going to dial things way down to save fuel. And this gets right to the heart of it. Building, and heck, even just maintaining muscle, is super costly from an energy standpoint. Your body looks at that big bicep not as a trophy, but as a luxury sports car that's just guzzling gas from its energy account. So the bottom line is right here. Your body, because it wants to be as efficient as possible, will literally slam on the brakes. It will stop muscle protein synthesis, which is the actual process of building muscle, dead in its tracks, just to conserve energy. That is your plateau in a nutshell.
But what if we could find the control panel for all this? What if there was a master switch that we could just go over to and flip back on? Well, it turns out there is, and we can.
This is the big question, right? If our own body is actively working against us, how in the world do we outsmart it? How do we convince it to get back on board and start building again? Well, the answer lies in something called the MTO pathway. Now, don't worry about the name. Just think of it as a signaling network inside your cells that gives all the orders. And when it comes to growing muscle, MTO is the head honcho. It's the master regulator. An even better way to think about it is like the ignition switch in a car. When the NTR pathway is switched on, the engine for muscle growth roars to life. When it's switched off, that engine is cold and absolutely nothing is happening. And there you have it. Our entire strategy boils down to this one simple objective. To smash through that plateau, we have to find a way to consistently and reliably flip that mTOR switch back to the on position. So how do we do that? The science points to a really clear 3-part strategy to get that engine restarted. Let's break down the 3 keys. Here they are: strategic deloading, progressive mechanical stress, and synchronized nutrient timing. Think of it like a 1-2-3 punch. First, you reset your body's sensitivity. Then, you hit it with a powerful new stimulus. And finally, you give it the fuel to get the job done. Okay, first up, deloading. Now, I know this sounds totally backward. You have to back off to grow. But think about it this way. If you listen to loud music all day, you eventually just go numb to it. By taking a week to dial back your volume and intensity, you let your body's growth machinery become sensitive again. It can actually hear the signal to grow once more. So once your body is primed and ready after that deload, you hit it with key number 2, progressive mechanical stress. This is the shock to the system that flips the mTOR switch on. It means you come back from that deload stronger than before. You add 5 more pounds to your squat. You fight for 1 more rep on your bench. That new increased tension is the powerful signal that tells mTOR to get back to work. And finally, key 3 is all about providing the raw materials. I mean, you can flip the switch and call the construction crew, but you can't build a house without bricks. This just means getting a high-quality protein source in within an hour or 2 after your workout. This gives that now-activated MTR pathway the amino acids it's screaming for, right when it needs them most.
The biggest takeaway here is really a fundamental shift in how you think about all this. Breaking a plateau isn't about more brute force. It's not about banging your head against that wall even harder. It's about understanding the biological lock and using the right keys to open the door.
And that's the question I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at your routine. Are you just mindlessly pushing against a wall? Or are you ready to start strategically using these keys to unlock your body's real potential for growth? The choice is yours.